All-new Hyundai Tucson. It's a vehicle that's gotten a lot of attention, and maybe not for the right reasons. I think you can have a look at it and decide for yourself, but for me it's a very bold look, and it turns heads, so it depends on what you prefer in your SUV. But compared to the previous vehicle, Hyundai has really gone in the complete opposite direction in terms of the design. I rather like the front, but along the side and along the back I find that there are just too many angles, really not leading anywhere. However, step inside and you have one of the best interiors in the SUV segment. It's very clean, very modern, the materials are nice, the touchscreen is clear, and the controls are easy to use. The steering wheel has physical buttons for your adaptive cruise control and your radio function and your cell phone. However, I think Hyundai did let themselves down a little bit going with a full touch center console. It works perfectly fine, but it is piano black, and that does attract dust and dirt, and you basically have to keep a cloth with you all the time if you don't want to see your fingerprints. I think that on first impressions, this is a very spacious and functional family SUV, and it's unique in the sense that you can get a two-wheel drive turbo diesel with 460 Newton meters, and I think for most people that's really enough. You can get less than 6 liters per 100, which is really impressive for a vehicle of this size. It does cost a bit, but in the context of its main rival, the Volkswagen Tiguan, this vehicle really comes specced with everything standard, and that's been a Hyundai mainstay for a very long time. So your panoramic sunroof, your heated steering wheel, your heated seats, your cooled seats, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, your heel hold assist and the like, that's all standard. So I would say it depends on what you're looking for, but if you want a car that stands out on the road and is spacious for your passengers, has a big boot, has a strong but efficient engine, I think that's not a bad way to go. Now let's head out onto the track and see what it's like to drive. So, on the move in the Hyundai Tucson, 2-liter diesel, and I'm actually quite impressed so far. The motor pulls really cleanly, the ride is good, obviously we're on the track, and it's smooth, but obviously the team will have the vehicle for a couple of days to do a full road test and experience what it's like on the road. But out here, you do get to explore the car's limits, and those come up very quickly in a regular road car, and this is obviously an SUV. In terms of my dislikes about this car, they are subjective, and it's the looks. I'm not a fan of the angular looks, but I really like the fact that it's a front-wheel drive diesel, and that means that it's very efficient and it doesn't suffer from too much torque steer. We have large 19-inch tires, so it manages to put its power down just fine, and the body is quite rigid, so it turns in nicely, and you know, you can do silly stuff like that and not feel like you're gonna fall over as you would in other SUVs of its time. Having 460 Newton meters, the in-gear acceleration is very good. Obviously, having all-wheel drive would be a benefit to neutralize the understeer. There is a lot of understeer, and we expect that in a family SUV with a diesel up front. And I must say the way it gets on is actually quite impressive. Diesel is not dead, guys. It really isn't. And I'm just having a look at the trip computer now. We've done so far 812 kilometers, and this vehicle has averaged 6.9 liters per 100. And for me, that's more than acceptable for a vehicle of this size. It's actually quite spacious. It's big. I think that's the party trick of this vehicle, the fact that it is a potent diesel. And it manages to hold its body control quite well. But yeah, that's just me actually having some fun now. As ever, keep your eyes peeled on the car website. We have all the pricing and the news on this vehicle. We have attended the launch. The driving impressions will be available on the website. Obviously, we're getting this vehicle to test for the magazine. That road test will be out shortly. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll hope to see you guys again soon.